Hello, it is Reviews Day Tuesday. It is time for another Quiet as Mouse book club video, and today I am reviewing Lucky Jim by Kingsley Amis. It is a 1954 novel and it follows the eponymous Jim Dixon, who is a history lecturer at an unnamed English university. He is kind of rebelling against the snobbery and pretension that he comes across in academic circles, and this spirals more out of control as the book progresses. Dixon and the novel are full of disdain for boredom and the causes of boredom and hypocrisy and frauds. And this is where I think a lot of the enjoyment comes in this book for me. It's fun to read things being mocked that you yourself find mockable and annoying, but that are all too often ignored or humoured. And in Professor Welch we have a great comic character. He is also a professor of history and kind of Dixon's boss, and Dixon puts up with a lot from him to keep his job. Welch is absent-minded and often just absent, and he is entirely unaware of people and things around him. But he's not a malicious character at all, and Dixon has a lot of patience with him, and I personally felt a lot of sympathy towards him. Which I found good, because although he's a ridiculous character, he's not treated as a villain because of it, and I found his relationship with Dixon interesting. The treatment of women is quite of its time, and I found it a bit grating as a modern reader, but there's a couple of interesting female characters in Margaret and Christine. Margaret is very vividly painted, so much so that I feel like the reader ends up knowing her a lot more than Dixon does for most of the book, and I enjoyed how we got to know more about Christine as the novel progressed. It kind of peels away her layers and she ends up being not at all how she first appears. I found this to be a very funny book. Some of the situations that Dixon gets himself into, sometimes through ingenuity and sometimes through idiocy, are hilarious. And there's a scene near the end where he's giving a talk, and I was hysterical, and that doesn't happen very often when I'm reading. And the writing style I found pretty easy to enjoy. It's very descriptive and detailed, although it is quite formal, and I found the tone lacked variation a bit. It was all on one level. I'm not quite sure what I'm trying to say. I couldn't read it all in one go. It's quite mocking and disdainful all the time. It's not so much light and shade. But overall, I enjoyed this book and I'll give it 3.7 out of 5. So next books on the 28th of July, I will be reviewing Money by Martin Amis. And then after that, on the 11th of August, I will be reviewing Mrs. Bradshaw's Handbook to Travelling upon the Ankh-Morpork Pork and Stowe Plains Hygienic Railway. This is presented by Terry Pratchett and the Discworld Emporium, and it's a Discworld tie-in book. It ties in with Raising Steam, the latest Discworld book. I was about to say I haven't read a non-fiction book for a while, but this is of course a fiction book. What I meant is I haven't read a book that isn't a novel for a while. That's it for today. I would like to know your thoughts about Lucky Jim if you have read it. As with last week, I may have a video up on Thursday, but I may not. However, I should definitely have one up on Friday. So I hope you have a great couple of days until then, and I'll see you soon.